Welcome to WebFit News. We're diving into the reality behind the headlines of migrant worker exploitation in New Zealand. This story begins with just two people, two workers, who finally decided to speak up, revealing a truth that has shaken the system. A restaurant in Lower Hutt has been fined $90,000, but the real story is the years of exploitation happening behind the scenes. These were migrant workers who came to New Zealand with hope for a better life, better opportunities, and a fair system. But what they got instead was something very different. We're talking about years of working under conditions that were far from fair. They worked up to 9 hours a day, 6 days a week, nearly 54 hours every week. Shockingly, they weren't paid for all those hours, with one worker paid for only 36.5 hours. Across just two workers, this exploitation amounted to more than $72,000 in unpaid wages and entitlements, money they earned but never received. The exploitation went deeper, revealing manipulation of the system itself, making it appear legal on paper but brutally unfair in reality. One disturbing detail: a worker had $50 deducted every week for food. Think about the impact of that weekly loss. To meet visa requirements, the employer artificially increased the wage on paper. This manipulation allowed the exploitation to continue while maintaining a facade of compliance. Authorities have made their stance clear. Every worker must be paid for every hour worked, with no exceptions. It is also non-negotiable that employers must never pass visa-related costs to their workers. That responsibility lies solely with the employer. The court ordered a strong message: a $90,000 fine, more than $46,000 in compensation, and additional payments to inland revenue. But here is the uncomfortable truth behind this case and the headlines you read. This case only came to light because two brave people finally spoke up and sought justice. The real question is, how many more are still silent, held back by fear? Fear of losing their job, their visa, or the courage to speak out. This story is bigger than one restaurant. Exploitation creates deep cracks that affect our entire economic and social system. Exploitation doesn't just harm workers. It hurts honest businesses by destroying fair competition and weakening trust in the system. New Zealand prides itself on fairness. Cases like this force us to ask, is the system truly working equally for every single person who comes to work here? At WebFit News, we believe this is not just a headline, but a crucial conversation we all need to have about worker protection. Authorities are prioritizing migrant exploitation and encourage workers to come forward confidentially and safely. Awareness is still the biggest gap to close. What do you think needs to change to protect migrant workers in New Zealand? Work must be paid fairly, always. Find the full story on WebFit News.